Toronto Raptors for a few different reasons. The Bulls shooting the ball pretty well in this game. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan combined for 30 points, but the Bulls have 19 turnovers, more turnovers than their last two games combined. They also allow the Toronto Raptors to have 19 offensive rebounds for a huge number of second chance points. This is a game in which the Bulls and their newfound effort just did not come through in a meaningful way. The Toronto Raptors in this game, 14 points off turnovers to the Bulls, 21 points off turnovers, but just not enough. The Bulls do not have enough to get this done against the Toronto Raptors, and the Toronto Raptors walk away from this game with the tiebreaker that the Bulls so desperately needed in their hunt for a play-in spot. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it all down. We're going to have some fun, get some therapy in right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
This was a tough game to watch, man. All the newfound energy around the Chicago Bulls, all of that, it did not matter today. The Bulls just, listen, I said it before, I said it coming into the game. The length around the Toronto Raptors is hard for any team to get over. It's especially the Chicago Bulls. You can tell that it frustrated DeMar DeRozan all night, who went 5 of 11 from the field. Zach LaVine goes 6 of 12 from the field, but 1 of 5 from three-point range. The Bulls overall 10 of 25 from three-point range. They do have 28 assists on 37 made baskets, which is around the area that we want them to be in. And despite the Bulls going on a 10-point run to open up the third quarter, they just did not have enough to get it done. The Toronto Raptors, how they offensively rebounded the ball, took the Bulls completely out of the game down the stretch. And once the Toronto Raptors got a 7, then 9-point lead, the writing was kind of on the wall for the Chicago Bulls. Unfortunately, the Bulls do make a little push back at the end of the game, but it just wasn't enough. And the Bulls did not have enough to stop. And this is why you may have seen Goran Dragic signed and maybe another player with some size come in, because this was a game that, you know, despite Alex Caruso and how good he is defensively, there were times where, they were daring him to shoot. He couldn't hit open shots, but the length. When you have 4 guards out there and you against a team like the Toronto Raptors, it's going to be hard to rebound anyway. But then the way that the Raptors were able to offensively rebound, that's tough. And so really part of what played into the downfall in this game is partially on coaching. I do think that Billy Donovan did eventually bring in Patrick Williams, but I think he brought him in for Nikola Vucevic. But in fact, we should have subbed Alex Caruso for Patrick Williams early in the game. And it wasn't because Alex Caruso didn't try. It wasn't because he wasn't giving effort. He just was not tall enough. And when you're facing a team that has the length like the Toronto Raptors, you got to really try to combat length. If you're not forcing them to play down to your matchup, if you're not killing them with going small, you have to try to match size with size at that point. Even if you didn't trust Patrick Williams, maybe a little stint with Drummond and Vooch, I don't know. But the size absolutely killed the Chicago Bulls tonight. It was debilitating. It changed the tide. It took the energy away from the Chicago Bulls, and it was just felt out there. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the Bulls did not have enough to get it done. They do not walk away with the tiebreaker that we coveted so much, and they're going to have to find a way to go back to the drawing board, find a way to be successful again, because it doesn't get any easier for the Chicago Bulls at all this season. And as we know, and as we talked about, this Bulls team has to be locked in every game for the rest of the season. There are no nights off for this team, period. And so we've got Detroit coming up in 2 days. And we'll see. Oh, that's not 2 days. We got Detroit coming up tomorrow. Jesus, we got a back-to-back. I'm about to be tired. We got Detroit coming in town tomorrow. Are we going to Detroit tomorrow? And that's before the Phoenix game on Friday. And the Bulls are going to have to get that game against Detroit. Like the Bulls have to get that game against Detroit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the Pat Bev effect wore off today. And that's just what it was. The team, you know, early in the game didn't go through their offense. They were getting turnovers, playing sloppy. There were times in this game where DeMar and Zach kind of broke the offense, both of them. And this just did not look like the team that was cohesive and running the system like they looked at in the last 2 games. And once you get away from that, and you can't really gain any momentum because I'll tell you what, the Chicago Bulls played pretty good defense, pretty solid defense throughout this game. But the difference maker is that the Toronto Raptors' ability to offensive rebound the ball, even with good defense, you get caught out of position on offensive rebounds, and they were able to get putbacks. Chris Boucher at one point hitting tons of threes in the face of the Chicago Bulls. They just did not have enough in this game, and it's unfortunate because we needed this win. We absolutely needed this win for the play-in race, and we didn't get it. And, they're going to have to find a way to try to combat it. They're going to have to try to find a way to get back in rhythm and stuff like that. But if I'm the head coach after this game, I'm talking to them about the turnovers. I'm taking maybe reevaluating the size on this team and maybe considering maybe running Patrick Williams back in there at the starting lineup to see what he looks like with Pat Bev out there, or maybe trying some other things. I don't know, but Billy Donovan did get outcoached, and I will say this: his choice to not challenge that call in which Patrick Beverley got called for hitting the ball out of bounds when he really didn't is glaring. Now, it's hindsight, right? But that could have been a momentum-changing play, especially if the Bulls win that challenge and then go down and score. Zach LaVine missing a three-pointer down the stretch of this game that would have changed the tide. But again, it was off-balance three. There are a lot of things. There's not one thing to blame for this. But when you look at it in totality, not well-coached game, not well-executed game, some solid defense throughout the game, the lack of being able to offensively rebound. They got outworked on the rebound. They got out-rebounded by 12 overall. But the 19 offensive rebounds by the Toronto Raptors is hugely telling in this game. So the Bulls got to go back to the drawing board. They got to figure some stuff out, man. This was an ugly loss, but we'll see what you guys got to say about it. Football CF Candy says Billy Donovan needs to hold smoke tonight. Why was P. Will not playing in the last 6 minutes? Bro, you were getting out-rebounded. 100% agree with you there. All coaching for Matt Costello, too. Agree with you there as well. Same old bullshit. Yeah. Hey, listen, I can't argue that. I don't understand how you go into the paint, last 3 minutes, being in the bonus. Like, what the fuck, bro? Come on. Tony continues to prove that I don't know if he understands basketball. P. Will is small. P. Will's not small. P. Will has a 7'2" wingspan. That's not small. He's 6'7". That is a power forward in today's. His wingspan is longer than most of the Toronto Raptors players. No, P. Will is not small. He would have definitely helped with the size aspect of it. That's just wrong, Tony. Kernan says just a bad matchup for the Bulls. Yeah, but they've played better against this matchup before, and we know they can. Silencer says embarrassing ass game, embarrassing effort for sure, especially down the stretch of that game. Get Alex and DeMar off this team. Damn, that's okay. We coming for Alex and DeMar today? Listen. Willie says, I'm not mad at this loss, but we definitely need to use that open roster spot for some size. Rebounding hurt us. Rebounding killed us in this game for sure. How did they not box out? Yeah, boxing out is terrible in this game. Billy is fucking horrible, bro. You didn't challenge a play that could have saved you 3 points. And why the fuck wasn't P. Will in the game to help rebound? The fuck? Yeah, it like literally. Billy Donovan's hesitation to put P. Will in the game when we clearly needed some size and some length. Like I said, even if you don't trust P. Will, get creative. Put Andre Drummond out there, like with Vooch. Like, do something, because it was just the boards that were killing you, right? Yeah, the Toronto Raptors got a little bit hotter from three-point range for a little bit of stretch there. But when the Bulls are playing good defense and you just need to be able to defensively rebound the ball, I wouldn't necessarily minded a Vooch Drummond lineup at that point. So Keith Murray, Billy is trash. He should have challenged that Pat Bev play. It would have been Bulls ball, then playing small ball down the stretch when we needed rebounding on the court. Shaking my head. Exactly. Tony, LaVine doesn't get used properly in long stretches. His teammates don't even get him the ball. Well, this was a game, Tony, and I was messing with you earlier, but this was a game that it's not the way that it looked out there. I know it's easy to look and say, hey, they didn't get him the ball, but the length was suffocating out there. The Toronto Raptors, the Bulls played good defense. The Toronto Raptors played even better defense. Even better defense. So, D-Dub, Haize, Vooch is still a solid big, but he does not have the rebounding aggressiveness and presence that Drummond does. Felt like a different game when Drummond was on the floor. I don't know if I necessarily agree. In this game, yeah. Overall, not really, but yeah, in this game, Drummond definitely deals with length a little bit better than Nikola Vucevic. Not a little bit, a lot better than Nikola Vucevic does. Michael Galileo, why was AC so scared to shoot or float that mid-range whole trash back? Because he couldn't shoot. And the thing with Alex Caruso is he's very much a rhythm shooter. If he hits the first couple of shots, you're locked in for a fun game with Alex Caruso. He missed those wide open shots. He got in his head. It happens with Alex Caruso. Evan Look says the fact that the Raptors had 23 more shot attempts than us and barely won shows how this game was given to us and we threw it back. Also, Billy may be mentally ill. Someone check on him. That's deep, bro. That's deep. Zach looked pissed off at Vooch. Zach needs to be also pissed off at himself, right? This is a loss the whole team needs to be pissed off at themselves. BKR Sport, my brother says Billy Donovan is as good a head coach as my 6-year-old daughter in Fiji. Wow. Okay, that's deep. That's deep. Too many stretches. The Bulls couldn't do anything with the lead. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Brandon L. Jet with the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, my brother. Oh, y'all thought Bulls was going to win? Did y'all forget what this team is? Man, that's tough. That's definitely tough. Dilbert says, give this man a like. Come on, go ahead and like the video, y'all. Vooch sucked on the defensive end. Ball watching, not body on body presence. Yeah, I mean, physicality games, they definitely get to Vooch. People started overrating Billy after the mini Pat Bev effect because he was a better point guard. No, Billy's rotations this season is why we lost so many games this season. You are spot on. You were definitely spot on there, bro. Definitely spot on. Subscribe if you're a diehard Bulls fan. That's from Dilbert. Sydney in the building says, could they still sign someone only being 20 games? Yes, I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe March 5th is the deadline that you have to have. That's the deadline by you have to be signed to be playoff eligible. So I do want DeMar to leave because he slows the offense, and I want him to pass a little more than he is passing right now. I mean, listen, I can't argue with that. Definitely can't argue with that. Loss sucks, but I want to hand it to the team for showing some heart and fighting their way back instead of just throwing in the towel like a bunch of scrubs the past 30-something loss. Listen, I can agree with you that they did show a little bit more fight down the stretch. I still think that overall some of the things that they did, man, I just don't know, man. I don't know. Big T says this shit on Billy. You stayed with Beverly and Caruso and then let them get horse and fail to just adjust with P. Will to end Billy is the problem. Billy Donovan is absolutely a problem, but it's not the only problem. Definitely not the only problem. But in this game, if you guys want to give that loss to Billy, I can't argue it at all. Alvin City of Games says Drummond and Vooch should have been on the floor together along with Williams, Levine, DeRozan, Caruso, Beverly. Matches their length and rebounding intensity. Bulls Nation. I mean, you still have to score the ball, so you still have to have some spacing and stuff out there. But I do think that it was a time where a better head coach would have got creative to try to stop the bleeding on the rebounding side of the ball. So I think that's on Billy. Billy does not make adjustments. You cannot be a coach in today's league and not fucking make adjustments. That was pathetic. He made adjustments. They just weren't the right adjustments, right? There were some things that they definitely did different in the second half of this game, but it just, I don't know, man. The worst part is that Paul was locking Siakam up when he was on him, and Billy still put the guard at the 4. Listen, and I'm surprised because Billy Donovan even said once Alex Caruso was put in the starting lineup, he himself said there are going to be some matchups in which we have to start Patrick Williams, and this was one of those games, especially down the stretch, that you needed to start Patrick Williams, and you decided not to, and you know you got to eat that. Billy Donovan got to eat that at this point. Ain't mad at this one. Fought hard on the road against a hot team. Keep playing this way, and we definitely poised for a good run these last 20 games. Man, listen, I'll say that the team did show heart, but this is a game in which it shouldn't have just came down to heart. The coach should have, a better X's and O's coach would have made some better adjustments to put his team in a better position. We did not do that, and thus we lost the game. So, at the end of the day, like, this loss does suck, but the Bulls need to go back to the drawing board. We got Detroit tomorrow and a second of a back-to-back, and I don't want to hear nothing about no damn lack of energy on a back-to-back. You were fighting for your playoff lives. You better find a way to dig in and get some energy. Take a 5-hour energy shot before the game, a Red Bull, a Monster, all at one. Take that mug, call it an energy cocktail and a B12 pill, and figure it the fuck out. This team has no excuses for lack of energy. You cannot come out flat against Detroit tomorrow. I don't care that it's on a back-to-back. I don't care that you traveled and you had a 3-hour delay. I don't give a damn if you don't get to Detroit until 7 a.m. tomorrow and you've been up. I don't give a damn. You better find a goddamn way to tap in and get the energy needed to get the job done against Detroit. If this team drops another one, if this team does another one of those things where they go on a mini winning streak and go on a longer losing streak, I'm going to be livid. You talked about how important the back end of the season is. You talked about how you need to be locked in like every game's a game 7. You cannot use this excuse of energy in the second of a back-to-back tomorrow night against Detroit. You cannot do that. And if you do it, then don't even try to make the playoffs, pimpin'. Go the fuck home. Zach, go hold your baby. DeMar, go hold your wife. I don't give a damn. If you cannot find a way to dig in and give the necessary energy tomorrow night against the Detroit goddamn Pistons, we gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem, period. We got to be locked in. We got to find a way to pull that out. We have to. That's it. That's it. So that's my thoughts on that. Sorry, I just went on a mini rant there. This loss on Billy Donovan, he coached a horrible game, not to mention not starting P. Will, and you need size. I can understand not starting him. I can understand wanting to see if you can force the Toronto Raptors to play down to your matchups. But when you realize that was not working, a better coach needed to make a decision down the stretch of that one. And Billy Donovan just let it ride out. And I don't know if he was trying to send a message. No, you know what? I'm not even going to give Billy Donovan credit for that. He's not smart enough to try to send a message to his players that they need to play tougher. Patrick Williams should have been in this game, down the stretch of this game, period. There's not any ifs, ands, or buts about it. He should have he should have been in the game down the stretch. We ran 4. Yeah, you run 4 guards against the length of the Toronto Raptors, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Christian Jones, Shane's came when the UC was half empty a few years ago. Stop supporting this team when you mess with Jerry's money. First of all, the UC was never half empty. Let's be clear. Even at the Bulls' worst, as far as attendance, they were still in the top 15 of attendance in the league. The UC was never half empty. But I will say, it's still not going to happen. It's going to be years before that happens. This team needs change now. So, need a more conventional lineup at times. Absolutely. Absolutely at times. We absolutely need that. Absolutely need that. The real Don P says, too many lazy approach to rebounds by DeMar and Zach. You see they don't make multiple efforts. Yes, Billy sucks as coach, just sitting there not challenging anything like an idiot. Yeah, he sat on the whistle again. And we needed a coach in this game. Say my name says Amar Ichokson. That's tough. That's tough. Bulls gave up 19 offensive rebounds and a young and healthy P. Will sitting on the bench at the end of the fourth quarter on a game that desperately needed his size. That's it. That's it. What's up, Haize? Much love, fam. I appreciate you a lot. This is from Mr. Laurel 23. Appreciate you a lot because win or lose, I'm a diehard fan of the Bulls, and you wouldn't be doing this if you wasn't. Tonight was a coach problem. Too small. Absolutely. Too small. David Thomas says, Billy outcoached again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jim Boylan would hold these guys accountable. Yeah, but then again, Jim Boylan's also a terrible head coach. You can hold people accountable. As a matter of fact, no, because they would have tuned him out by now. It is what it is. Why sign Taylor and not use him? His best asset is rebounding. Billy Sheeks. Well, keep in mind, Terry Taylor is on a 2-way contract, right? He's not signed to a regular contract. 2-way contracts, you have a very minimal number of games that you can play before they have to convert it. And I told you guys when they signed Terry Taylor, don't be prepared to not see Terry Taylor a lot. It just is what it is. That's the nature of a 2-way contract. I hope they pick up somebody tomorrow. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully they can. Hopefully they can. Let Terry play at the 4, back up for Patrick. No, that's not coming. David, I'm convinced you don't know what the definition of word salad is because you continually say that in here and you sound like a fucking idiot. And I'm sure your mother did not make the choice to give birth to you so you can sit there and sound like an idiot in a YouTube comment section. That's just, your mama told me that. I could call her right now. Hey, Miss Thomas, Yeah, hey, Miss Thomas, listen, your son's in the YouTube comments and he's using the phrase word salad incorrectly. You said you gave him hook on phonics when he was 13 years old and he failed the test? I can figure that. I can figure that. Yeah, I understand. You said he still reads at a 5th grade level? That makes sense. That absolutely makes a lot of sense. All right, cool, Miss Thomas. Thank you. Wait, he still lives with you in your attic? That's deep. How big is the attic? It's a small attic? Oh, man. All right. Hey, listen, I understand, Miss Thomas. Thank you for giving me a call. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you got that thing going I like? All right. Thanks, Miss Thomas. Moving on. Better than me. If I was P-Will, I would have been on the sideline bugging to put me in. Donovan has no leadership. Reminds me of my supervisor. No game plan. Damn. We've all been there with that supervisor that sucks at that. So let's go. We're trying to catch up. Tony in the building says, yo, these refs suck so bad they can't even speak properly. Dude fumbled his whole explanation on the Raps won the challenge. Yeah, they killed that. CJ the Truth in the building says, go home and hold your purse. No playoffs for the teams with no heart. Playoffs are for teams that play with heart. Billy D lost this game. We should have changed up the lineup and put P-Will in the game. The Raptors really played a bad game. The Bulls needed more size and got destroyed on the boards. You got to look at it. If the Bulls get more rebounds, if they keep the Toronto Raptors off the offensive boards, this game looks completely different. Not just a little bit. The game looks completely different at that point. So yeah, this is bad coaching. Definitely bad coaching. Malcolm Cherry in the building says DeMar cost us the game with 4 shots, hero ball, missed clutch free throws. Oh, don't get me started. He even missed the free throw the time that we got the I can't remember when we got the technical foul shot and he missed that one. You knew it was going to be a long night at that point. Like DeMar DeRozan usually doesn't miss free throws. When you see him miss them, it's going to be tough. People actually asked after the game last night if Billy's secretly a good coach. Tonight, people are saying fire Billy Donovan ASAP. I thought my dog was bipolar. Listen, you already know. You already know, Bulls. I told you, Bulls fans, we react and we go up and down all the time. Up and down all the time. It's weird. Unlike most losses, we know exactly what the problem is. Yeah, we know exactly what the problem was in this game. Exactly what it was. Like it's literally just coaching in this one. It's coaching. It is coaching. So it is what it is, man. Definitely is what it is. Dwayne Taylor, I'm with you, Haize. No excuses tomorrow. They better play ball. None. You have no excuses for tomorrow. I don't give a damn what it is. You got no excuses for tomorrow. None. Get in there and get the job done. I don't want to hear nothing about anything. And I don't want to see none of y'all coming to when the Bulls are getting asked, well, it's a back-to-back, Haize. I don't give a damn if it's a back-to-back. You get no credit for it being a back-to-back for me tomorrow night. None. Especially when you drop this game. Also, P-Will was cooking. There's nothing worse than having a coach that can't see the talent in P-Will and doesn't know how to get the most out of talent. Please fire BD ASAP. Listen, we've been saying that also. The one thing, a better coach would have Patrick Williams and this team in a better position, right? As far as development, right? And especially when development was said as the thing that got you, that the reason why you got this job and you aren't developing shit, that's an issue. That's a problem. Haize, you funny. He said, what did I do? I don't even know what I did that was funny today. I have no idea what I did. Another good defensive game, but damn, our offense is anemic, man. The offense is so and I'll say this: the offense wasn't terrible, right? It wasn't great, right? The turnovers sucked. Let me be clear on that. But if you limit those turnovers, you limit the offensive rebounds for the Toronto Raptors. The Bulls still very well, and they almost could have won this game even without those things happening. So. Dylon says, you think they should have put in DJJ or Dalen Terry? Which one would have helped the team? Did DJJ not check? Well, I think DJJ may still be hurt, but DJJ definitely would have helped as well. Dalen Terry, you know how I feel about the Rook. I want to see the Rook play. I think he should be playing 10 minutes a night anyway. So. Omar asked, by your face hair look like the burning bush from the Bible. By the way, tough loss. Tough lost? Tough loss. If you're going to try to flame me, spell the whole goddamn comment right, you bastard. No, but not the burning bush. I'm on fire. That's what we do. No, you're right about the back-to-back point, Haize. It's gut check time now. Yeah. You talked about how important it is. You got to lock in and get it. You got to lock in and get it. Jasmine in the building says, hey, Haize, my time on here, goon cousin. I just, well, glad to see you, Jasmine. You goon cousin. Then that means you family to me. Glad to have you in the building. My time to feel bad for people. People definitely could have helped this game. Like, he definitely should have been in this game. Leonard Thomas says, Haize, do you think we need new ownership? Listen, it's not happening though. The Reinsdorfs will never. The apocalypse will happen before the Reinsdorfs sell the team. And even then, Jerry Reinsdorf is going to be it's going to be 10 people left on earth after the rapture. And Jerry Reinsdorf is literally going to get them into the United Center to buy tickets. That's how it's going to go. Jerry Reinsdorf, evil never dies. Jerry Reinsdorf is the devil. And he never will die. Jerry Reinsdorf is literally going to be running the Chicago Bulls when my great-great-grandkids are still wondering why the Bulls don't go into the luxury tax. That's what it's going to be. Steve on the building says, offensive, we not shit. We not running any type of system. No plays, no nothing. Listen, man, that's tough. This means we're beating the Suns with question I asked earlier. Hey, this would be like I said, if the Bulls do beat the Suns, cool. I would love to see them play that level of competition. But again, the win against the Raptors would have meant more for the standing. So Jasmine says, Billy didn't put P. Will into the end. Billy knew we need size. Billy an asshole. Billy is he's just a dummy. He's literally just a dummy. I don't go back and forth with idiots in the chat. I don't give a damn if you're a member or not. Whoa. What happened? Chasing Dreams. If only Bulls didn't extend Billy, we could have went after Ime, cheek clapping ass in the offseason. Shake my head. That's funny. For all the love of Bulls, thank God we didn't. But, man, I would love Ime Udoka to be our coach, man. Something along the lines, man, I swear if you read that. What is going on around here? Y'all getting into it with each other? If we lost the playoffs, we need change. The coach staff or the roster, I go coaching staff change. It's not happening, though. It's probably not happening. So it sucks. Why is Vucevic so scared of contact? He always gives the rock up as soon as the defender closes in. I won't say always, but I mean, he's a willing passer, and I think maybe while the defense collapsed, maybe he thinks there's going to be an open shot out there. But young Vooch used to be a beast. Like, really, let's just be clear. When Vooch was younger, Vooch used to be a beast, even with contact. I would love to see that Nikola Vucevic come back, man. It sucks that we don't have it nowadays, but hey, it is what it is, I guess, and it ain't what it ain't. But that's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. All right, let's keep it going. Love that we gave that gum chewing son of a bitch coach an extension. Hey, I wonder if they worked in gum as part of his extension. Like, does he just have like a barrel of Hubba Bubba that they refill every game? That was like part of his contract negotiation. We got a better chance of getting a second team before Reinsdorf sells. Reinsdorf is literally never selling the Chicago Bulls, man. Hey, do you think the Bulls still have a chance to make the play-in or not? If we do, probably be first round. Oh, we definitely have a chance to make the play-in. Isn't in question. I think the Bulls are going to make the play-in, especially if the way that they've been playing. I think they still can make a play-in. I'm not worried about them making the play-in yet, right? If we get to 10 games left in the season and we're not clearly and firmly in that 9th or 8th spot, then we need to start worrying. But I think the Bulls are still going to make the play-in. Canan Peacock says Vooch needs to watch a video of himself from 5 years ago. Like, hey, that's you. That's you. Do you remember that you can do this? Vooch used to jump at one point in his career. He doesn't jump anymore. Pat Bev, Billy got some shit, man. Billy got some shit. Billy like, hold my gum. Yeah, man. Oh, you think I'm a good coach? Watch this. That's literally Billy Donovan. Lost hope this season, rather end with the 5th worst record and get a 10% stake and win beyond it. That's just me. It's not happening though, bro. Not happening. Definitely not happening. Mark Shannon says Eamon Mieseman would have grabbed more boards tonight. Oh, absolutely. Eamon Mieseman would have threw an elbow to Pascal Siakam. Like Pascal's jaw would have been like, if y'all ever watched Eamon Mieseman overseas play, like Eamon Mieseman is like the female Tim Duncan. Y'all know how like Tim Duncan used to do this move, and it literally, when he does the rip through, it would literally like his elbow would go in the back of people's neck, and he never got called for it. Eamon Mieseman be elbowing the shit out of women overseas, like legit. And I don't like she literally should have an assault charge right now because she's definitely rearranged several women's faces. Black Prophet says, Haize, am I the crazy one? I have to be honest, I would prefer to see the Bulls get into the top 4 for the NBA draft pick. For me, getting the top 4 pick is more important than losing a playing game. It's just not happening, right? I understand what you're saying. And if the Bulls own their own first-round pick outright, I may even be with you. But to me, you can't risk it. You can't risk doing all that just to give the damn Orlando Magic the number 7 pick. Like, you can't risk it all for that. Mysterious Bulls fans. What's up, Haize? What's going on, fam? Terry says the Bulls players' IQ is pretty. Oh, absolutely. And that's why having a point guard definitely helps out there. Malcolm Cherry says DeMar be choking. That's funny, but accurate. Haize, do you think Billy Donovan is stunning P. Will's growth? A little bit like Larry's development was ruined by Jim Boyle. Oh, absolutely. Like I've always said this, right? And while I'm not saying that Patrick Williams needs 15 plays called for him a game, what Greg Popovich did to build Kawhi's game, and I'm using that not as a Kawhi Patrick Williams conversation. I'm just using that as a how you build somebody's game. The first season, Kawhi Leonard only averaged 5 or 6 shots per game, right? Next season, I think it got up to 8 shots. Third season, it got up to double-digit shots. And that's when you started seeing them run pick and rolls, run the offense at times, do those type of things. That's how you grow a player's game. Keep in mind, Billy Donovan's been Patrick Williams' head coach the whole time he's been here, and he does not use him any differently. He has not put him in situations to grow. He's not trusted his ball handling ability. He's the best three-point shooter per percentage on the team. He doesn't even use him when we need three-point shooting. Billy Donovan has not developed a lick of players on this team. And people want to say, oh, well, what about Ayo? No, Ayo just came in as a ready-made rookie because he played in college so long. Oh, what about Kobe? No, Kobe's development was him finally having a full offseason and working with his own separate coaches. Billy Donovan ain't developed shit. And that's a big problem when you have so many young players on this team. Reginald Short says the Raptors are the reason I wanted Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt would have made such a difference for this team. Such a difference for this team. David Holiday says, what's good, Haize? Didn't watch the game, but I see it was a tough loss tonight, shaking my head. It was absolutely a tough loss. It was a rough go. It sucked watching. I'm not even going to hold you. This loss stung. And especially when you looked at what was at stake for the Chicago Bulls, the fact that they could have owned a play-in over the Toronto Raptors. They already owned the play-in over the tiebreaker. They could have owned the tiebreaker over the Raptors. They already owned the tiebreaker over the Hawks and Miami Heat, all teams that are above them. They're tied with they're 2-2 with the Washington Wizards. This game could have been so important for the play-in race down the stretch of this season, and they didn't get it done. They didn't get it done. Marcus says, Haize, you preaching tonight. I appreciate that, man. I hold sermons after every Bulls loss. If age wasn't a thing, who you trading, Zach or DeMar? Still DeMar, because Zach LaVine when he's on is a much more modern day offense player. The way that you can build your team, with Zach LaVine being on it's more room for that you have to build a very specific team when you have DeMar DeRozan. A very specific team when you have DeMar because of how he operates and gets his points. How Zach LaVine gets his points is always going to be easier to build a team with that player on it because he is a 3-level scorer. So Brendan L. Jet says, the evidence is well justified. Look at the development of P. Will, Io, and Marco, and this is why AK is a whole dumbass for giving Billy an extension. Kobe's improvement was self-made. 100% agree with you there. Have you missed a game yet this season? Shout out to all the Bulls fans. I can't watch every game anymore. Oh, I watch every game. There was times where I wasn't able to do a post-game show, and the Cognac boys, Steve-O and Ricky, have stepped in for me. But no, I watch every game. Every game. Vern says, yo, Haize, I know we picked up P. Will's option, but do you think it'll get to a point where it did with Laurie where we have to pivot or maybe better off moving P. Will because the head coach is stunning players grow? If it gets to a point to where you have to say, oh, because Billy Donovan isn't helping P. Will grow, let's move P. Will, and you do that, then the front office are a bunch of idiots. If you look at it and you see a 21-year-old player and you say, hey, the coach is what's stunning his growth, you get rid of that coach. The player isn't the problem at that point. They are who we think they are. They are who we thought they were is the quote, but that's very, very accurate there. Mark Shannon in the building says DeMar game is made more for the early mid 2000s and 90s. He would have definitely been an MVP. Oh, if DeMar DeRozan played from 92 to 2001, he'd be a 4-time MVP. Easily. Haize has missed 2 post games this year, both well justified. Shout out to Ricky Fontaine, the Kanye boys, and Steve-O Speaks. Shout out to them for holding the channel down when I'm not in, man. We're now 1.5 games behind the 10th spot with the Wizards winning today. Man, that stinks, bro. That stinks. Mig says, you're getting out rebounded the whole game and you didn't make any adjustments. What was Donovan thinking? The only thing important to Donovan is chewing his gum. Stop popping that gum, if you guys know where that's from. I don't know how everyone's blaming Billy when it was literally just a rebounding issue tonight. Then you don't know basketball. I'm sorry. I don't even mean to be offensive. If that's your statement, then you didn't actually watch the game, I don't think, or you don't understand basketball and coaching. The Bulls were getting out rebounded strictly because of size. We had 4 guards out there against a team full of everybody basically except Van Fleet is technically a forward. You know what would have helped that? Adding length to that. So, yeah, I'm sorry. That's just a wrong comment there, brother. Marcus says, we got to beat Detroit, and we have to add a piece that will help us shock Phoenix potentially. Listen, there's not a piece to add to help us shock Phoenix, right? We got to play hard. So it is what it is there, man. Jack Holland asked, Haize, I haven't heard your comments on Wave and Dragic. I have a whole video on it. Go watch that video, brother. Medea's family reunion. Absolutely. Stop popping that gum. Rebounding was not the only issue. Turnovers, lack of coaching adjustments, and missed shots contributed to the L. Brandon L. Jet cooking as always. Adding length, huh? That's funny. That's funny. Haize, the sad thing is that as long the cheap front office is still there, we aren't going anywhere. The front office isn't the ones that's cheap. It's the ownership that's cheap. But again, it's not like we are an over-the-cap team, right? I think sometimes people don't forget the fact that it's the difference between being in the luxury tax and being over the salary cap. We are always over the salary cap. We just don't go into the luxury tax. And if you look at the playoff standings right now, I believe, if I'm not correct, the last time 10 out of the 16 teams that would be playoff teams right now are teams that aren't paying the luxury tax. So you can get to being a playoff team and get to being a contender without paying the luxury tax. You just have to be very smart in how you use your money. And you have to develop the younger players on your goddamn roster. And the Bulls aren't doing that. And that's part of the issue here. Mark Shannon says, hell, I'm cheap. Definitely understand that. The lengthiest team in the league and you won't put Pat in, that's tough. That's tough. I don't think Billy trusts playing Drummond and Vooch together. I don't know. He feels they can switch onto guards. Billy has an issue with experimenting in logical ways, and that is the frustrating part. Absolutely. It's like Billy Donovan does not get creative at all. Billy Donovan has no bag. That's what it is. He has no coaching bag, right? When you look at creative coaches in the NBA and how far they can take their teams, coaches have a bag. Ime Udoka had a bag. Joe Mazzulla had a bag. Greg Popovich has a coaching bag. Rick Carlisle has a coaching bag. Billy Donovan got no bag, bro. He just got gum. That's it. No bag at all. It's just gum. He has no bag. Nothing at all in Billy Donovan's coaching philosophies that he can get creative with. Billy Donovan runs a very simplistic style of coaching. So it's wild. It's wild. No bag Billy. We just gave Billy Donovan a nickname. Shout out to Philip Tindrell. No bag Billy is his name. No bag Billy. Billy ain't got no bag. He sure got a lot of gum, though. Omar laughing. What's up, Omar? He brought the bag. It's just full of gum. No coaching in that bag. Just gum. Just gum. That's tough, man. Galaxy Brain Donovan. Oh, hold on. I got to read this in the voice. Let me get my Billy Donovan
voice in. They're tall. They're all tall, huh? Well, if I kept all my tall players on the bench, they'll never see it coming.
That's absolutely how Billy Donovan coached. He'd be like, listen, here's what we're going to do, right? They're playing all 6'9" and above guys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play 4 guards out there. We're going to have one legit person over 6'10" on the floor at any given time. And because we're doing something unexpected, we're just going to get – this is what I want y'all to do. Just get low. So that way if they drop the rebound, we're on the ground to get the rebound. That's Billy Donovan's coaching philosophy, right? Don't worry about it. Tall people, why will we go tall when we can go small? Wait till they drop the ball. We're going to pick the ball off the ground. Then we're going to get to running. We're so small. Listen, run through their legs. That's what I want you to do. Do we have a 5'2" person on the team? No? All right, bet. Let's cut Gorn. Go find me a 5'2" person. We're going to run him on the team. Yeah. Yeah, is Nate Robinson still available? Bring him in. This is what I need you to do. Nate.
Listen, Nate, listen to what I'm saying. I need you to get the ball, right? Just lay on the ground, get the ball. When you get the ball, run through everybody's legs. It'll be like a Looney Tunes commercial. You ain't even got to worry about it. This is my coaching philosophy. Go find me 2 5'2" people, find me 3 midgets, and then get me 4 bottles of tequila. That's what we gonna do. We gonna be drunk and running. We Speedy Gonzalez out in this bitch. That's what we doing. We Speedy Gonzalez in this bitch. Matter of fact, go get me the cartoon character. Did y'all not see Space Jam? Get me Speedy Gonzalez. I need Speedy Gonzalez to be my starting center on this team right now. Get me Speedy Gonzalez. Bet.
Speedy Gonzalez, triple-double all day right now. Right now. Speedy Gonzalez, that's what we got. No bag Billy. No bag Billy, man. That's what we doing. Our starting lineup: Speedy Gonzalez, Bilbo Baggins, old girl from Abbott Elementary, Gary Coleman, Kevin Hart is our starting center. We gonna run that lineup. That's what we gonna do. That's what we gonna do. That is the Chicago Bulls. That is Billy Donovan's ideal starting 5. That's the starting 5 that he wants. Listen, it's crazy. Bro, I love this community. It hasn't been not one post-game live stream that I haven't laughed to. Come on, man. I'm glad that you guys enjoying it, bro. That's funny. Don't be surprised. When they cut Goran Dragic to sign Kevin Hart, don't be surprised on it at all. I guarantee you right now that they would love to have him on the team. Like real talk. It's just crazy. It's crazy, man. It's wild, bro. Like it just sucks that this is what we have to deal with, fam. It really sucks that this is what we have to deal with. It is what it is, man. We got no back Billy as a head coach. Matter of fact, this is the team that Billy Donovan has wet dreams about. This is the team that Billy Donovan will run one out there right now. That's a team. That's a team that's ready made for Billy Donovan and his coaching philosophies. Run this team right now against the Toronto Raptors, against the Milwaukee Bucks, against the Boston Celtics. This right now is the team that Billy Donovan would love to have right now. This is the team Billy Donovan would love to have. We be in there, bro. Be in there all day, just running it. It don't even matter all day long. Height, length, who needs that, right? Just go ahead and embrace it, man. That's what we doing. That's what we doing, fam. That's crazy, bro. That's just wild, man. That's crazy. That's tough, bro. That's tough, man. That's wild, bro. Oh man, that's crazy, man. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say anymore. The Chicago stops. Oh man, you gotta laugh to keep from crying around here, bro. That is funny. That is hilarious, man. Wow. All right, that's my time for today, man. I'm out here losing it. We gotta get ready to go do Locked On Bulls, man. I love you guys so much, fam. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel yet. Love you guys, man. You guys mean the world to me, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure you follow the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave us a text message and or voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the daily episode, and then we got another game tomorrow, so I'll be here for pregame, halftime, and postgame show all live. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, man. I love you guys, man. Go Bulls. I ain't gonna say see red because I ain't seeing nothing but one in this. This is all I'm seeing right now. This is all I'm seeing right now. This is what Billy Donovan will want the Chicago Bulls to look like. That's deep, man. But I'm out this mug. I love you guys, man.